Σας καλωσορίζουμε.
Thank you. President, you're very welcome to our group meeting. Could you tell me how the European Parliament can strengthen the role of this Parliament, ensure that it has greater resonance at a time when Council and Commission are very late in their response, say, to the pandemic? You know, some 60 Nobel Prize laureates and many in the public have all called for vaccine manufacture to be ramped up, for the process to be ramped up around the world, and for patent protections to be lifted. How can we ensure that Parliament raises its voice? Council and Commission has rejected the idea. So can you not address this issue? How can Parliament bring pressure to bear? We are vaccinating 3 times slower than the UK and the US, and we see vaccination coverage in Asia and Africa far worse. And so if we don't solve the problem everywhere, it will be an issue.
Now, obviously, the issues that Dimitri raised, yes, we do need to think about this and find the right approach. We could have some kind of impact when it comes to the TRIPS agreement, but we know that these are very long-run agreements, and it's not going to come. We're not going to find any short-term solutions or any appropriate solutions to what we're facing today. So I think now, as things stand, the role of the Parliament and the issue of licensing and supply is that we insist very strongly to say that we're not going to get out of this just by saving ourselves. No, we have to show as much solidarity as possible. And at the same time, we need to ask the Commission to take a firmer position to ensure that the supply programs for low and middle income countries are efficient, and they need to be strengthened. Because there is one issue that I think we're overlooking somewhat in the Parliament. This is a period in which all of our countries are running up debts, all of them. But who's going to pay these debts? I think this is something that the Parliament has got to put on the table. And we've got to develop some kind of debate over this, because I don't want a situation where after COVID, everything that's happening falls to the shoulders of the weaker and the most vulnerable, as we've had in the past, whether it was the Lehman Brothers in Greece. We saw who paid the cost of that. It was always the most vulnerable, the weakest in society. Those with the least rights, young people, women. So I think that today it's only the European Parliament that can put this at the centre of the debate. And I think we have the authority to do that. But we can only win the battle on justice if our public opinion is on board. We can't imagine that it's something that's just going to fall from the sky, because we've seen how some people are behaving. They're trying to put the price of the crisis on the weakest, and they're trying to protect themselves from the difficulties. They're acting very selfishly. So what I'd really like, together with you, who I know are particularly sensitive on these issues, I would like us to think about certain initiatives whereby we can really impose change here. A change of gear, because if we don't do it, I don't think anyone else is going to do it. And I think we've got to be aware of that responsibility of ours.